Welcome back to the channel. I got the famous CJ Leonardi.
You're the famous one.
So here we go. What we're going to be doing today is the 501 method, I call it. We're just going to start with a major 7, drop the 7 to make it a dominant chord, and then drop the 3 and make it a minor 7, and then flat the 5, and then we got a minor 6 with the 6 in the bass, which some people call it a minor 7 flat 5. We can look at it any different way we want. It's just music. So here we go. We're going to start with, let's start on the 8th position with the 6th string. And so we got C major 7. Okay. A really good 4 chord, but not really a good 1 chord for the end of a song, right?
Yeah, we were the dissonance.
The dissonance, right. The 7 and the root. Yeah. What would we play instead?
C major 6 or 6/9.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And we can start by looking at the key signature here. We're in the key of either
C or F. Actually, no, we would be in G. My bad.
What chord is this?
It'd be a 4 chord.
A 4 chord, right? Yeah, G, A, B, C. Okay. And if we're in the key of C, that's of course the 1 chord. Yeah. So if we flat the 7, we've lowered it down 1 fret on the D string from fret 9 to fret 7. 3 fingers are on the same fret, and this is obviously a what number chord?
It's a dominant chord. It's 5.
A 5 chord, yeah. Okay, and if that tells us specifically that we're in what? In the key of F. Okay, so that means that we have 1 flat and it's B flat all over the whole fretboard. We can improvise over that. That's a good starter. And if you're into modes, some people use modes, some people don't. But if we didn't have modes, you would make up a lot of questions, and they would probably be talked about with modes. But we'll talk about modes because they exist. They're church modes, and you can. It's a challenge to write, you know, a Mixolydian melody, a Dorian melody. So they kind of there's a big philosophy about that, you know, with modes. People teaching modes, you know. And yeah, I mean, we can spend a lot of time understanding, you know, the modes that are generated by the major scale, but I think that it's a waste of time, really, you know, to really practice it. But if you're just now getting into the instrument, then getting the fingerings down and understanding what the sound is from this note to this note, from the 2nd to the 9, and you know, over, you know, just, you know, to train your ear is one topic. But I wouldn't play that game too long. You know, as soon as you understand it, then you need to improvise with it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the philosophy on learning modes, since you know you've been through it?
It's a good starting point, but at some point, everything's been done to an extent. It's just how I think about it. You know, you play Mixolydian, a million other people play Mixolydian. You alter it to be your own. How many people, you know, do 3 alterations, 4, 5 alterations to a scale to, you know, match what they want to hear and
exactly. Yeah. Like even, you know, raising the 4 to this scale, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe altering the 5 or altering the 9, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay. And then go to a different key signature, maybe. All right, so let's look at, so when we go down this next path, then the next thing that we're studying is that we lower the 3rd. And now you're looking at, when we play the minor 7 chord, we know that we are in the key. We are in how many different key signatures? First, yeah, at least we can start by thinking 3 different keys. We can combine all 3, you know, and then create a scale from that. Why not? And then try to make it work, you know. And so then we lower the 5, and the easiest way to hear this sound is just to say, well, not the easiest way, but one way to think about it is also half diminished, you know, because it doesn't have a double flat 7, you know. So, but another way to think about it is if we take out that note C, then we just have a minor triad. And that's when Thelonious Monk was talking to Miles that one day. Miles looked over and asked Monk, said, "Man, what you playing there? You know, is that minor 7 flat 5 chord?" No, he says, "I don't look at it like that." He said, "I'm thinking about minor triad with the root, you know, with the 6 and the bass." And that was a discussion in Juilliard, you know, that they had. You know, so we're looking at if we lower the root to a minor 6 with a 6 in the bass, it's major 7. So if we raise the root, then we've got a minor 6 chord. So instead of thinking is this chord as a 7 chord, does it now sound like that we're thinking about it as 3 different key signatures now? Well, let's see. If we've got E flat minor over C, okay, as a 2 chord, okay.
You know, E flat minor
over C, yeah. So that's something to study right there, isn't it? Right off the bat. What is all that about? You know, sure you can. But comments below. We'll do a video on it if you want us to. It's a lot of a study right there. Okay, so there's it's always another thing to mess with that one right there. But let's move on. So the study is just going to be that we do C major 7, C7, C minor 7, and then we're going to call this, for the sake of the argument, C minor 7 flat 5. We'll treat it as a 7 chord in the harmonized major scale as the original textbook would give us, you know, for the sake of the argument, because it's more, and those schools are more common than the other type of learning with 8 notes to the octave. So first we learn there's 7, only to learn there's 8, or if you're lucky enough to have the right instructor, you start with 8 in the beginning. And so we're starting with 7 notes to the octave and going from C major 7, and then we'll go to C7, and then we'll go to C minor 7, and C minor 7 flat 5 we'll call it. We'll lower the root, and we have now B major 7, and then that's 5 sharps, and then we're in B7, which we're in the key of E major, 4 sharps, and B minor 7, we'll say that it's a 2 chord, and the key of A, and then B minor 7 flat 5, key is C, or A minor, B flat major 7. What if it's the 4 chord? We'd be in the key of
key of B flat, key of E flat, no, F.
You got it, yeah. And then we lower the 7, and we're in the key of
E flat.
E flat, that's the 5 chord. And B flat minor 7. What if it was a 3 chord?
G flat.
G flat. What's the key of G flat?
6 flats.
Right.
B flat,
And
D
then
flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat.
Amen. Now, so what we can do is we got the key of G flat. So if there's 6 plus what equals 7? 1. So there's 1 sharp. Yeah. So and then what sharp would that be?
F sharp.
So that means everything else is flatted, and that's your 2 key signatures. Okay. So let's go from A major 7. We're lowering we got B. Well, let's start B flat major 7, right? And then we lower we go to B flat 7, and then we go B flat minor 7, and B flat minor 7 flat 5. Okay, and then A major 7. Let's add a new one to it. We go to A7, and then go to A minor 7, and A minor 7 flat 5. We're just chromatically moving down the 4 shapes. Major 7, dominant, A flat, with a 7, and now A flat minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and then let's do this. Since that's half diminished, let's make it fully diminished. How do we do that?
You're gonna lower the 7th again.
We lower the 7th again. Okay. Now when we lower the root, we've got to raise the double flat 7 up a half step to continue the sequence. So now instead of having 4 chords that we're practicing, we're working on 5. Now, so we've got another new chord G7, and then we got G minor 7, G minor 7 flat 5, or B flat 6 with a 6 in the bass. Okay, and then we've got G flat or F sharp. Since we're descending, Paganini says we'll use the flats descending. And then we've got G flat major 7 and G flat 7 to G flat minor 7, G flat minor 7 flat 5, or A minor over F sharp, and then F major 7. And then we've got F7, and then F minor minor 7, and then F minor 7 flat 5, or A flat minor 6 with the 6, F in the bass. And if we lift up our ring finger, then we've got F diminished. And what else can this chord be called? F diminished and
A flat diminished, C flat diminished,
B diminished, or
C flat, anything.
D diminished, or what about E sharp diminished? Yeah. Okay. So that's a whole can of worms right there.
Any note in diminished can be a root.
Right. Any of the notes can be a root. Why?
Because every note has a third plotted.
Right. So that means a synthetic scale that we can just stack the arpeggios in minor thirds across the fretboard. From here, if I play F diminished, I have a root, a flat third, and then I have a flat third from there, and then a flat third from there, and a flat third. I'm going to do 2 notes per string. A flat third, another flat third, a flat third, a flat third higher, flat third higher, flat third higher. Okay.
Chord repeats itself every minor third. because of that.
Exactly. It just repeats itself. It's just that sequential kind of rainfall. All right, man. Fun times, dude.
Yeah, diminished.
So that was a good study. That was just nice to just delve in there, man, and just talk about it, study about it, look at it, different ways. So, looking at chords today. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next journey, and thanks CJ Leonardi for being here, dude.
Of course, thanks for having me.